Hello everyone, my name is Amma Hammond and welcome to the second video of the Wireless Guest Network deployment on the Catalyst 9800 Wireless LAN Controller series. This video will focus on configuring the cup-up tunnel between two different 9800 wireless LAN controllers. The cup-up mobility tunnel is created between two controllers, one situated in the enterprise network called the foreign controller and another in the DMZ called the anchor controller. When the guest joins the network by associating with the guest SSID, the foreign controller tunnels the guest traffic to the anchor controller. This provides a separate path for the guest to access the internet securely without access to the internal network resources. The following platforms support the capability of either an anchor controller or a foreign controller. The Catalyst 9880, the Catalyst 9840, the Catalyst 9800CL, and the Catalyst 9800L all support the capability of a guest anchor or a guest foreign. It is important to note that the Inter-Release Controller Mobility (IRCM) supports seamless mobility and services across different wireless LAN controllers that runs on different software. The following cases include the mixed IOXT environment. Cisco Catalyst 9800 wireless controller uses copper-based tunnels for mobility, whereas the ARS uses EOIP tunnels for mobility. Support for the copper-based encrypted mobility in the ARS controllers was brought in 8.5. However, the support for the IRMC with Catalyst 9800 wireless controller is present only in 8.801 and above and in the 8.5 IRMC supported release. Hence, we have the ARS controllers supporting the capability of a guest anchor or a guest foreign. Let's take a look at the anchor client support on the controllers that support the capability of a guest anchor. We have the Catalyst 9840 having a throughput of 40 gigabits per second and a client limitation of up to 32,000. We have the Catalyst 9880, which has a throughput of 80 gigabits per second and a client limitation of 64,000. We also have the Catalyst 9800CL, which has a throughput of 2.105 gigabits per second and with a client limitation of 64,000. We have the Catalyst 9800L, which has a throughput of 10 gigabits per second with a client limitation of 10,000. The ARS platform 5520 has a throughput of 20 gigabits per second with a client limitation of 20,000, and the ARS 8540 has a throughput of 40 gigabits per second with a client limitation of 64,000. We also have the ARS 3504, which has a throughput of 4 gigabits per second with a client limitation of 3,000. It is interesting to note the differences between the throughput and client limitation in comparing the Catalyst 9800 and the ARS platforms. Also important to note that a single 9800 wireless LAN controller can support EOIP tunnels from up to 71 foreign controllers within the enterprise. To create the mobility tunnel, we'd have to ensure that each of the controllers are in each other's mobility list. In this page, we have the web GUI of the foreign controller, and this is the web GUI of the anchor controller. In the foreign controller, we'll go to Configuration, under Wireless, select Mobility. We'll go to the Peer Configuration tab and select Add. To get the details of the anchor controller to add to the mobility list of the foreign controller, we'll go back into the anchor controller web GUI. Under Configuration, go to Wireless and select Mobility. Under Peer Configuration, we can see the MAC address, the IP address, and the group name. We just have to copy and paste the details here. You can see that the group name is Guest Mobility, and so we'll just type in Guest Mobility. We'll go ahead and select Apply to Device. We'll do the same thing for the guest anchor controller, where we add the foreign controller to the mobility list of the anchor controller. Now that both controllers have been added in each other's mobility list, we'll go ahead and refresh the page. The status is supposed to change to Up to ensure that the mobility tunnel has gone up. It takes a few minutes, about 2 minutes, to ensure that the status is up. After 2 minutes, we refresh the page. After 2 minutes, refreshing the page, we can see that the mobility tunnel is up due to the status being up. We'll go into the Anchor controller and the peer configuration tab, refresh the page, and we can see that the mobility tunnel is also up. So this is how to configure the mobility tunnel on both controllers. Thank you.